I am just a smidge early, but I'm excited to talk to you guys. Like my office, kids' artwork in a bucket on the floor, my bike on a trainer in the back. Awesome. I hope you guys are all doing well. I'm seeing some names I recognize. I'm also recording this on Zoom as I had a bunch of people ask if they could see a recording of it. So the Zoom is open for all my alums, and I'll stay on a bit after just to check in with you guys, or anyone interested in any programs, happy to hop on the Zoom call. And that is on Facebook. It's the same one I use every week for the fireside chats. Hey, Rollins, an alum I see poking in there. So awesome, you guys. So I am excited, really, really excited to tell you about the virtual training program that I am building with a bunch of really amazing coaches. I will tell you a little bit about them since I hadn't told you that much last time. Hey, Taylor. First, I just want to say, though it's really hard, and in a time like this, I am seeing the silver linings in a lot of things, okay? And so I know a bunch of you juniors, college athletes, are probably still in a bit of the mourning stage, and maybe you'll hit another bout as US Rowing canceled the national championship yesterday that was supposed to be held in New Jersey in July. So like I told all my dev athletes and any athlete that wants to chat, happy to chat with you, you should prepare yourself mentally to train independently this summer. And if there's an opportunity to do something, get out in small boats even, then that's great. But you should prepare yourself, feel the feelings for another day or two, and then prepare yourself to train by yourself. Hey, Mike, train by yourself this summer. This can be really hard, but it can also be really, really awesome. So I'm excited to tell you guys about the program that these coaches and I have built together for you guys. So just a little bit about the athletes that are, or the coaches that I'm working with. Several of the alums that you guys, if you've done my programs before, you know, Coach Kate from West Point is coming back to work with me. Coach Jackie, who works at Merchant Marine Academy now, but was at Row New York and had been at Smith, is also coaching students. Coach Linda Murray, who when I was an athlete, and when Mike, who's just popped on here, was an athlete, coached the Harvard lightweight men for over a decade. She used to coach at Cornell. She did a short stint at MIT. She went to MIT. She's a 3-time world champion, amazing lightweight rower, actually, and has coached everyone, junior men, junior women, college men, college women. She was the head coach at Dartmouth for a few years. And now she works a lot with juniors and masters. So she is really phenomenal. And she helped me build the training plan. And I'll tell you a little bit about that in a second. And then Esther Lofgren is also going to coach some athletes. She was in, I'd have to go back and look at her formal bio. She's been on the national team for like a decade or something. She was in the 2012 London Olympics that won gold in one of those Dynasty 8s. She was a Radcliffe alum, a bit younger than me, but awesome, really awesome gal. And Haley Eovine, who is the recruiting coordinator and assistant coach at Bates for the women, is also coaching. And then I have a handful of other coaches who are ready to step in depending on demand, okay? So my goal is to serve as many of you guys as possible. And so if you're interested, please, and you wanna grab a spot, grab one now so that I can make sure we get the right setup here. So what is gonna happen is each coach will get 10, no more than 15 athletes assigned to him or her. Coach Josh Helfman is helping as well, for any of you guys that know him from a previous camps. He was coxed at Princeton for the lightweight men, and then coxed the 2000 men's lightweight 8 that won the world championships, and has done junior men and women for a really long time, and also coached at Princeton, so really awesome. They're going to help with a lot of the coxing work. So each coach will get 10 to 15 athletes, and that is because virtual training plans are awesome if you do them, okay? So what we really want to do is create the infrastructure and the support to give you guys the information, build the tools and offer those tools for you, and then help keep you accountable and check in pretty regularly, okay? So the design of the program is to have 6 face-to-face time calls with me or your assigned coach per week, okay? And the way that will work is I will do mental skills training Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Right now at 4 p.m. Eastern. I will tape those so that if you can't make that time, you can watch it later. And we will cover all of the material that I do in the dev team that everyone loves so much. And the feedback I always get from the dev team is like a fire hose of information coming at them. And they love it, but it's hard to digest in that short amount of time. So this will allow me to give you smaller, more digestible bites, time to practice those under pressure, and then move on to the next topic. Okay, so I'm actually, the teacher side of me is really excited to have you guys for a longer period of time. The first 6 weeks, we'll go in depth in that, and then we'll talk a little bit more about the mental skills throughout the second 6 weeks for those who stay on. Okay, so both the mental skills in the first 6 weeks and in the second 6 weeks are going to be different. All right. So those that stay on for the second 6 weeks. So mental skills, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 4 to 5, you'll have a workout. If you're doing the more intermediate advanced workout plan, then we'll expect you to work out 6 times a week if you can. One of those will be cross training. We will provide you 2 cross training workouts a week. We'll provide a strength workout for you, and you'll do that ideally 2 times per week. And then we'll give you some core and flexibility work to do. Okay. So people are asking me like about the time, probably 90 to 90 minutes, maybe 2 hours if you get real into your stretching and your core work each day for your workouts. And you will want an erg. You're going to need an erg. I don't really think it's worth your money, frankly, probably if you don't have an erg. Call me if you don't. Let's see if we can get you one. There's a lot of places that are renting them or might be able to get you one. Ideally, if you can, get a Bluetooth monitor, because there's some really cool stuff I'm going to talk about in a minute. And if you have Bluetooth capability, it's pretty awesome. For the more beginner novice program, then we'll have you working out 5 days a week. Okay, so there's 2 days off, and one of those will be cross training. So there's only 4 days on the erg. So the intensity and the volume comes down, right? For those who haven't been around as much, or the younger athletes. This is open to boys and girls. So I'm really excited about that. I've always had a ton of parents saying, I got a boy, he can't come to your camp. No, he wasn't allowed to come to camp, but we are serving boys and girls for the virtual program. So that's really exciting. Another silver lining for me is, in fact, more people with the mental skill program. So a little bit more about what the mental skills are. Please, if you know one of my alumni, ask them about it, because they're the best to tell you. I'm obviously totally biased, but they'll tell you what it's like and how transformative it can be. It is a lot of work for you to think about yourself, your strengths, what your stories have been, what you want them to be. So I envision it's probably about 40 minutes on the Zoom call, 15, 20 minutes tops for Q&A, and there'll be a homework assignment each week, probably just one. Some of those you will share with your RSR mentor coach, and some of them will be just for you. So that's 3 hours of mental skills instruction that would be booked into your time, and probably half an hour of homework or self-reflection during the week. Some people really love that, so they spend more time doing that. All right, and then you will have one small group call with your mentor coach each Sunday to follow up. You will have one technical erg coaching call with your RSR mentor coach. I have been doing this for a really long time, actually, with Zoom and Coach's Eye. There's like a special way you can hook it up to, if you're on a desktop, to an iPad to be able to use that app. And that has been really, really, really great. And that'll probably just be about 20 minutes. You can get a lot done with Slow-Mo and Coach's Eye in 20 minutes. They will do that, just you two. I encourage your parent to be there, but it's just you and the coach. And we'll record those and put them in the Google Drive so that you can reflect on those, or your parents can see them. And then you'll also have one mentor call just to check in, look at your data. You're going to be putting in your erg data into the platform that has the training plan so that the coaches can see it. We can track you over time. We can do little competitions among you. We can compare improvement when we repeat a workout. And you'll still have access to that platform after it. Okay, it's called TrackLead is what we're looking at right now. We're hoping that they can connect to Concept 2, but in the event they can't, old school, like when I was in college, you're going to put your data in there so we can see it. Okay. And that's really, really cool. It's basically an online training journal, and you'll still have access to that and all of your data after the program. A little bit about some of the competitions that we're planning. So try to get a Bluetooth monitor for your erg. And then if you don't have an iPhone, which I feel like 99% of my athletes do, but if you don't, and you don't have an iPad, see if you can borrow someone's, because there is a group that I am partnering with who has developed an app that will allow us to do live leaderboard racing. And we are going to run those on Thursdays. We'll run 2 times on Thursday. So if you can't make it one time, you can make the second. One in the morning and one in the afternoon. And that's because we have athletes interested in a variety of time zones. All right. So if you can't make the morning, join the afternoon. If you can't make the afternoon, plan on joining the morning. If you can't make the live time, it's not a big deal. It's just to make it more fun for you. You can still do the workout on your own. However, it's pretty sick because I'm basically building a movie for you guys, to go over the warm up for that workout, to go over the workout, to go over the warm up, go over some of the mental things I want you to practice in that workout. And then I'm going to cox you in the practice. They're time-based workouts, so you're all on the same page as you're doing it, but real time in the bottom of your iPad. I do it with an iPad because it's a bigger screen and I'm old, but you guys who probably see it on your phone, it'll show you real-time leaderboard of where you are against the other people in our program, which is awesome. So I've been doing it for a little bit, testing out the app. It's really, really cool. So I'm building the movies for you guys now. For all the people who are interested in doing this as a coxswain, we are going to see if we can get you to build a movie for the app so that the athletes can then watch it. And now you have this like amazing movie with you coxing that you can share with college coaches, since you won't be able to make any real tapes on the water tapes this summer, probably. The other thing for the coxswains is we'll do some Zoom live workouts. I have seen some programs doing this. I'm going to make some modifications so that there aren't a lot of people talking. It's just you and that one coach. And so you'll get the practice and instruction and coaching to figure out how to coach on the erg. And what's really awesome is we're going to set it up in a way so you can see the splits of all those ergs. So not only are you just amorphously coaching and coxing those athletes in their ear and other states, but you can see their splits and really drive them with that speed and encouragement. So that is really exciting. We're also going to do an e-learning option for the coxswains through a partnership with Sparks, so that you guys have basically your own homework to do. Even though you won't be working out every day, there's going to be an e-learning platform that you're going to do. And then you'll actually have a few more phone calls. You won't have a technical phone call on the erg, obviously, but you'll have a few more calls with Haley that she will run to do tape review in small groups, Q&A, scenarios, all of that we do at the camp. That's really, really helpful for the coxswains. And just in case there was any doubt, sometimes people ask me, is the mental skills really relevant for the coxswains? And then I remind them, the coxswain's main job is to protect the safety of the crew in a high stress, high anxiety environment. And the second goal is to protect the equipment. And then the third is to execute something physically, which is to go straight. And then you ask them to do all these other things. And their job, right? Hey, Kylie, their job is to remain steadfast and calm and make sure that any strong emotions that they may feel, anxiety, fear, confusion, does not transfer both onto their face and into their voice, as it can be really destructive for a crew. So yes, coxswain's job is to maintain composure and execute under high pressure and high anxiety conditions. So I would say that mental skills may be even the most relevant for coxswains. So I'll talk a little bit more about that. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to pop it in the chat there. But so we're going to do the live leaderboard Zoom workouts. I will talk a little bit, as I do every summer, about college rowing, what it's like recruiting, how to communicate with coaches. I am not a consultant, a recruiting consultant, and there are some, and I really like some of them. So I'm happy to put you guys in contact with some. I don't have any formal relationships with any of them. So you guys make your own decisions about that, but you don't have to have a consultant, but I have heard good feedback from some of the people who have hired some. So, you know, we'll talk about that, and I'll put you guys in contact and maybe even put some out in front of you so you can talk to some if you guys decide to do that. So yeah, I'm just looking at my notes, making sure I don't forget anything. The whole dev team, for the most part, there's a couple of college athletes who have a training plan already. have rolled into this virtual program. So I'm really excited to open this up to people who either weren't on the dev team or couldn't make it, or were too young or too inexperienced, or hadn't gotten the erg where it needed to be, they wanted it to be, or whatever. We're really excited to open this up. The college athletes who don't need the training plan are a lot of them doing the mental skills separately. So if you're interested in that, if you're already doing a pretty robust program, then reach out to me, holly@readysetrow.com. I want to be able to support as many people as I can. And that's not like exactly what we're doing right now, but I'm happy to talk to people and offer that to some individuals that is the right fit for them. So a little bit about the coaches. I told you guys about Linda Murray, helped me build the training plan, is going to be one of the coaches. Esther Lofgren is helping. Coach Kate Brownson from West Point is helping. Jackie from Merchant Marine is helping. And then I have a bunch on my phone speed dial, depending on demand. Corey Bosworth, many of you met last summer, was the Harvard coach for over a decade as well, and has sort of left the field of coaching, but is pumped to help athletes if we have enough kids who want to do it. So, you know, US rowing just canceled nationals yesterday. So it's looking likely that most of you guys will need to do some sort of virtual stuff. And if you have one already, great. But if you don't, or if you want to try something new or get some different eyes on you, or hear what we're doing about building confidence and bravery, then we would love to have you guys. And there's a handful of others, coaches who are interested in helping if we get that much demand. So check it out. All the information is on readysetrow.com. You can apply or not apply. You can reserve your spot at app.campdoc.com/register/readysetrow. All of this is on the Ready Set Row website, so don't panic if you don't have it. And you guys can always reach out to me, holly@readysetrow.com. I'm happy to answer any of your guys' questions. I think I answered, a lot of people were asking me about how many hours per week in case you're getting a job or you have academic conflicts. So depending on how, whether you're going to do, the strength stuff, I'm so excited if you do all the six days a week, and the strength and the core and the flexibility. Probably with all the mental skills and the phone calls, if you don't miss anyone, sit at 17 hours a week, which may seem like a lot, but this is a pretty robust program that we're aiming to really transform and build some solid character strengths, confidence, bravery, tools to manage stress and anxiety. So I can talk a little bit more about that as well. But if you're really going to change that, you guys, if you really want to if you want to build yourself up from the inside out, you don't just sit in a room and have someone stand in front of you and talk about mental toughness, or once or twice. Okay, you have to do some real honest, like, self-reflection and digging and figuring out what those things are, who you are, what do you want, and then do the work. Do the real sort of hard work to figure out, like, what are the stories that you're telling, what is true, what is not, what is factual, what is an emotion that you feel, and then what are the things that are really supporting your commitment and your goals. What are your goals? And then what's supporting them? Both habitual behaviors, maybe habitual behaviors that aren't supporting them. Hey, Jane. So all that stuff is a lot of time, but it's so worth it. And please find one of my alums or look at the testimonials on the website. I can't actually have current NCAA college athletes offer a testimonial by name because it's against NCAA rules for them to endorse a product or service. But when they graduate, my first group will graduate, then I can have their names if you guys really want to talk to any of them. But it's been really, really awesome to work with so many athletes. And we have athletes in, I don't know, over 40 colleges now rowing, which is really, really cool. So just a little more about the logistics. Okay, so you can sign up for just the first 6 weeks, which would be June 8th to July 20th. And that's $14.40. That covers everything, your membership into the sites and everything. If you want to extend this phase 2, then it will continue from July 20th to August 31st, in which case you would test at the end of that period. If you only do the first 6 weeks, you'd test in the week of July 20th, and I'll have a closeout for you on July 24th. The second phase is $1,050. Okay, so it's just under $2,500 for the whole thing, which is pretty outstanding. If you look at your other virtual options right now, I think it's 30 days for close to $5,000. So trying to do this as financially sensitive as I can for you and your parents, and also support all the coaches that aren't able to coach summer camps over the summer. So I'm pretty excited about this. You can do just the first 6 weeks, and then by the end of the second week, if you want to change that or continue for the full 12 week, if you're like really like it, you got a chance to check it out and you really like it, then we'll let you do that. And the reason we want you to decide by the second week is because the workouts are actually going to shift. So we have the intermediate, advanced, and then the beginner, novice tracks workouts. Look at my blisters, you guys, starting to erg again. We have 2 tracks, and then they both come down, start at the 6th week on June 8th, and then by the second week, then they will fork, okay? And that's because physiologically, workout you would do in the 3rd week of a 6-week program is really different than the workout you would do in the 3rd week of a 12-week program, all right? So if you are a rising junior or a rising senior, and this is your time, and you may feel a little nervous and anxiety and sort of like at a loss, floating about how this is your time, right? This is your time. You got to have to pull your time that college coaches are going to ask you first. Let me reassure you that they all are aware that these are like the weirdest times. And so the metrics are all different, okay? It's just not the same scene. So just take some deep breaths. We can help you, but you still need to put in some solid work, right? I don't have a magic wand. We have really great success rate at our camps of people pulling some really great times, some big PR numbers when they come in fit. And what I can tell you is, number one, I can't make someone's fitness improve by more than 8 seconds in 2.5 weeks. Like, that's just not happening. Maybe if they're a novice, right? Like, or someone who's like never worked out, but that's not the people that come to the dev team. So we always have every summer people that are, dropping 8, 12, 15 seconds. That's not a fitness thing. It's a little bit of a fitness thing, 4 seconds maybe, but it's not like 20 seconds. It's all the mental skills and the routine and the rituals and building all of the tools that athlete can use for that performance. And that's what we're going to do much more systematically and slowly, intentionally, so you can be real deliberate about building those skills. Okay, so that is really exciting for me when I'm thinking about the teaching piece of this. So when you do the 6-week program, you will be able to test in that July 20th week. And if you continue to the end, then you will test at the end of August, early September. Now, we have built both programs so that in the event 2 things happen. 1, you come to your RSR mentor coach and say, guess what? I can get in a single 2 times a week. What do I do? Then first of all, great. We still want you to do that. And you and your coach will discuss what type of work you're doing in that single, so that if it's, if it's skill and drill, it's fine. If you're actually doing some volume and some load there, then they might ask you to not do one of the erg workouts so that we know the amount of work that you're doing physiologically in the training cycle. And so you two will work together, and they will say, great, then don't do this workout, and maybe flip flop it. Okay. And then if you have an academic conflict come up, either school runs later or you have to have a job, that's not an academic conflict, but a time conflict, a scheduling conflict, or if you have to take a summer class, or maybe even college or your school starts up a bit earlier, then we'll just adjust it, okay? That's why you have a mentor coach. This is why I have so many coaches at the ready, so that we can make sure that we're meeting your guys' needs exactly where it is, and we can customize it, okay? So you'll see the training plan in the sheet, and the group that you'll be in, the smaller group that will compare times and try to use each other to push you, use you all to push each other, except that if we need to customize some stuff, then we can do that, all right? So don't worry about that stuff. And you may not even know, okay? Like, I don't know if my kids are going back to school in the fall, so we'll just get there, all right? So we're building a program. On the website is a tentative schedule so you guys can see it. And we're really, really excited. So yeah, if you guys need anything or you have any questions, reach out to me at holly@readysetrow.com. And I am happy to talk to you guys. Again, all of this stuff, we're just trying to set it up to support you as best we can. And if we've got to move some stuff around, or you have a conflict or something, comes up, then we'll just get there. That's why you have a mentor coach, so that you can have someone that you can reach out to pretty easily and make those changes. I'm just trying to make sure I answered all of the guys' questions that came in. It is for boys. Someone keeps asking. It is for boys. I have not allowed boys into our in-person camp. You tend to distract each other at an in-person camp. But in a virtual situation, we are able to serve, it's the same tools, it's the same material. You guys are just slightly at a different place. And the exercises are a little bit different. So you might get a slightly different homework sometimes, but it all still applies. So we're really excited about that. In terms of time zones, we have a lot of people interested in California, which I'm super excited about. So, that's why I'm going to tape the Zoom calls, so that if you can't make the live sessions with me, then you can watch it. We had a couple international people ask me that you're probably going to have to watch the taped calls. And that's why we're going to do the 2 race day times. So the morning one will be 10 a.m., which would be 7 a.m., right? 8, 9, 10. Yep. For the Pacific Coast. And then a 5 p.m. race day. And so depending on, whether you want to be in the morning or sort of early afternoon, we're trying to accommodate all of you guys that way. The Zoom Coxing Erg workouts, I have those tentatively scheduled for 5 p.m. Yeah, Karen, I'll answer you in just 1 second. I have those Zoom calls for just 5 p.m. If we get a small group where there's another time that we can move, then we'll do that. So Karen's asking, it's just for the first 6 weeks. Karen, right now, that's what I think is sort of the highest and best use of their time, because they don't need to do like the physiological cycle of the workouts. I want to be real judicious and with everyone's, money and time. And so we can pack a lot into 6 weeks for a coxswain. There might be, as we see how these apps work, and as I want to start to use the coxswains to build some of these movies and things where they can really practice their coxing in a new way and really push them outside their comfort zone. I mean, if they can cox, a computer screen where they can't even see the athlete, like that's a really amazing skill that will come in handy for them later. And so there might be a way that we engage with them later, but I anticipate that they probably only need to do the first 6 weeks as the coxswains. And the coxswains, again, you guys will have the e-learning platform as their workout. And then they'll do several small group calls with the coxswain coaches to talk and go over their own tapes, go over other people's tapes, do some transcribing and looking at that, go over the drills and what happens with the drills. You basically have to teach you how to be a coach. And I have some coxswains that we've worked with before, even just at the dev camp, which everything gets real compacted, who can sort of vet the program and tell you a little bit more about it. But we have a lot of really great feedback of coxswains have never had that kind of in-depth coaching before. Obviously, we can't practice steering out of the water, but everything else you can, even everything from like the ritual of what you're doing to prepare to come down to the practice. And they can learn a lot. Coxswains can learn a lot from watching erg practice and I work with the coxswains to talk through some of the psychology behind all of that and what they should be looking for, what they should be doing, how they make their assessment on the rowers, where they are, and then how they adjust, how they cox different rowers. Yes, they can go and ask them, like, do you want to be coxed? But then there's a whole other conversation about what you actually see happening and what's the best way to support that athlete to help her or him go faster outside of just what you see. So we'll do a lot of that work. The e-learning platform has discussion questions after each chapter, so the coaches will go through some of that. It does have quizzes, and I got most of the answers on the quizzes wrong, so I told them we're going to make it so you guys don't have to do the quizzes. I thought they were confusing. And the more experience I think you have, sometimes you can overthink that. It's sort of hard to do a coxswain quiz like that. So we're going to take that part out. So yeah, that's sort of high level. You guys have any other questions, pop them in the chat. Pretty excited about all this. Please reach out to me if you have any questions. And let me just make sure there's nothing else on here you guys would need to know. We still are doing RSR fireside chats. I have it open just in case someone didn't get the memo that I was going to do this tonight. But on Fridays at 8 p.m., it's really awesome. It is a lot of alumni. However, it is open to anyone. I think the alumni just want to see each other. So please pop over and say hello. Sometimes some of the coaches are in there as well, other than me. And yeah, if you're already doing, just again, if you're already doing a pretty robust training plan and you don't need us for that piece, but you're interested in the mental skills, reach out to me about that, okay? Because I have a handful of people who've asked, and I'm happy to talk and do some finagling for a few people that might want to do that. And I think that's about it, you guys. I don't see anything else in here, questions that came up. We're really, really excited. I do have a sibling discount. So if you have two people in your same household who want to do this, then reach out to me for that. Yeah, we're really, really excited. So again, holly@readysetrow.com. Please reach out if you have any questions. And if you want to talk to an alum, I'm happy to put you in touch. I'm sure a bunch of them would be happy to talk to you, or I'll send them a t-shirt in exchange. And if you're a coach and you're interested in doing the mental skills for your whole team, reach out to me about that as well, as I've had a couple of coaches do that. And so looking at some like bulk access to something like that. So I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend. And yeah, just reach out to me if you have any questions.